What's going on, guys? It's Michael from 3D Print Everything, and I've got something really cool to talk to y'all about. And I want to make it clear that I am not getting paid by Anker. There's nothing that I'm doing to they're not paying me at all. This is just my first opinion on this printer. But I want to talk about this printer. It's not released yet, but it will be at the end of the year. They're in production right now. There was a Kickstarter for it, or I guess still is. But I think this is going to be really cool. So, and I can't wait to get my hands on one of them. And if the video isn't smooth, I'm sorry. I'm doing a wide angle because I have a very wide monitor. If you haven't seen it, but it's awesome. Anyways, so let's talk about Anker. If you haven't seen this Kickstarter or this printer, then you're in for a treat. If you've seen the other things, you can probably skip this video, but it still might be interesting one way or the other. So this is Anker. Anker is a company that makes, they're like the leading powerhouse in mobile charging. I mean, they make these big batteries here. You know, that's about the size of the printer, maybe not, I don't know. You know, so they got, actually their website's really cool. I kind of like that deal there. But so power solutions, chargers, AC adapters, you can bet it's probably going to have a top of the line power supply or something like that. Nano Pro, so this is them. This is a multi-million-dollar, I don't know how much they make, I have no idea, but it's a lot of money. So it's not just like me and, you know, one other guy in my garage coming out with a printer and saying, hey, we need $500,000 to go buy a factory and everything. They're already going to have all the connections and from my understanding, I think it's past 10 or 15 million that they've already sold of these. So that's pretty damn impressive. Now, what makes this thing impressive, right? Just from looking at this, I mean, not only does it look cool and pretty damn sexy for a good-looking printer, but you have filament detection sensor. Okay, not that impressive, but good to be on there. Completely sensorless leveling. That's nice. So the whole point of this printer is to be like the easiest printer to operate. That someone that has no idea what they're doing could operate on this. Okay, one thing that I just noticed, I didn't know before, that I'm already like lame. It looks like they're using rubber wheels. So why the hell would they do a printer at this speed with rubber wheels? I don't know. And especially for the price. We'll get to the price at the end. But hopefully they'll change those dang rubber wheels. Maybe it's fine. Maybe they figured out it's fine. I don't know. Could be a bust on a printer. You know, we don't know yet. Look, you can actually see the lead screw in there. Nice. So, yeah, if you look in there, you'll be able to see a lead screw. Kind of interesting how they're hanging the gantry like in front like that. Anyways, so direct drive, probably BMG maybe, or no, they have this unique direct drive, so we'll go down and look at that. Also has a camera and then a really nice screen here. I do love the screen being on this, so it goes with the height. That's cool. Now this camera functionality will also do like a time lapse, and they'll have a app so that you can look at it and apparently start it from apps and stuff like that. And the print quality looks pretty dang good. I mean, I've seen a couple of videos of people doing some stress tests on them, and it's really impressive. So yeah, if we look here, this bottom piece is a big piece of machined aluminum, so that's actually pretty cool. And not too many do a dual Z like through this. Like, that's gonna balance that. I think that motor will wind up lasting longer. You're able to push that thing harder, and it's more balanced. That's smart. I do like that. With what they did there, it looks like the bearings would be pretty easy to replace, and they're printing at 250 with accelerations up to 2500, which, I mean, that's impressive. That, the belts, and advanced algorithms. So they're probably going to run their own slicer to just match with all this. And that's, you know, that's what you got to do on a really cool printer. You want, if you're doing new technology and it's got to do with stuff like this, if like from Sorry about the cutout. I forgot that it only records for 5 minutes, and I didn't catch it, so I've been talking for about a few minutes after. Anyways, yeah. I just got done wrapping this up, so it threw me all off, guys. Sorry. Hopefully this is entertaining at some point, but I think this is going to be really cool. They have their Kickstarter here where, what is this? Right, yeah. Let me go to their Kickstarter. So they've already raised $7 million. Like, they're making filament. They're making the printers right now, and I think this should be the new standard of 3D printers. If most 3D printer companies out there can put what Anker has put on here, a camera, an app, an HD screen, direct drive, a very sturdy base, and sensor, handless touching, zero adjustment bed leveling, that's a standard. Like, I bet it has 2 Z switches, and with those 2 Z switches and this, and then maybe an induction sensor or something, it might just be an induction. Like, that's how you do it. And if that's the case, and this thing's faster than any printer I've printed with before, and it's like $800, I think it is. I think you're paying like $750 or something. $629. That's 17% off. So MSRP is $750. $750 is not terrible. I'm all about the King Rune at $200, but people have money. People buy Ferraris over Hondas all day. And when someone who comes in a Ferrari and says, "I want your best printer," if I'm reselling this is going to be above a KP3S all day. But if this can set a new standard for how printers should be, if this can this is what I found impressive right there. Like, that's a new standard. Printers don't just do that right now. You're not going to get a Creality out of the box to make a print look that good. Like, good luck at least doing that. And I can probably stress test a King Rune and write a profile for it, but it's not going to be out of the box. Like, that's tricky. And if it nails it that good, then sweet. And if he didn't have to do any upgrades or not upgrades, but changes to his profile to make that happen, then that's really freaking sweet. And that should be the new standard of 3D printing. I mean, that'll make it more accessible to everyone. And, that's eventually what I want anyways, even if it, drives me out of business because everyone has a 3D printer. Yeah, I'll just focus on getting the biggest 3D printers that no one wants to have. But at the end of the day, if I had 10 of these, that might make because I'm charging by the print hour, and like, I'm now starting to change, my print times to go faster just because I had this. Like, I'll have to change how I do things, because if this is actually printing 2 or 3 times faster, what used to people would pay $100 for, I'd have to ask $40 for. Now, that's not bad either. I'm actually more fine with that. I'd rather give people a good deal, and if I'm still, if it makes sense on the filament and everything, then I'd happily give people cheaper prints because I have a faster printer. So maybe that'll be the case. I don't know. Maybe a bunch of these will be delivered and there's like some fatal flaws and everybody's gonna have trouble with it, but I'm gonna suspect that it probably does really good. I mean, that's moving at a fair speed. I mean, I've got the King Rune cranked up and it looks decent, but this does have a little bit faster jerk and acceleration. Anyways, I'm not saying go out there and buy the Kickstarter or anything. I'm not even supporting it or doing a referral program. The last bit that I'll talk about is I did reach out to Anker, and I asked them to be a reseller, and they said, okay, to be a distributor, you have to sell 1.5 million of these a year. It's like, oh, well, I'm not there yet, unfortunately, but maybe in the future, But I was essentially told that I think if I remember right, my memory is getting better. It's somewhere around like 4 or 5 distributors they have now, and that seems pretty on par with what they sold here. So if this is all the people that are ballsy enough to jump in on a Kickstarter, you know, and that's $7 million, 4 people, that's, you know, $6 million, or 4 people, four distributors at $1.5 million minimum a year. That's right at, you know, $6 million. So they're pretty much counting on that every year they'll be able to sell a minimum of $6 million worth of this printer. And if that's the case, then that's going to be cool. That'll be a game changer. I mean, that'll be Creality level distribution of this thing. I mean, we might be seeing this in Walmart, you know, and Target. Like, I don't know, but I know they're going to be pushing it hard. So because the distributors he was mentioning, I didn't even heard of before. Like, they were some high level distributors. Like, I guess Amazon's probably the biggest, but you know, these would be companies that can move 1.5 million of these printers, and they're not printer companies that I've ever heard of. They're just going to be working with, you know, like Micro Center, I guess. Like, that's who Micro Center is going to cure these through, you know, or something like that. Like, Micro Center might not sell 1.5 million. Maybe they will, but they might not. You know, they probably won't be buying directly. They'll be buying from the distributor, and then they'll be a reseller, so a retailer. So I'm going to try to get in with one of these distributors so that I can get these cheaper and potentially offer them cheaper if possible. Otherwise, at least get some type of buy out of it, because it would be cool. But this also might make my class less valuable, you know, or I just shift my class time to, you know, something more, because if the printer's more turnkey, then I don't have to show you how to level it. I don't have to show you anything else. Now, I still might, you know, I could give you a class on another printer that has you do that, but if you're going to have this one, you won't have to do that. And that's kind of the point. So it's quite interesting. Be on the lookout for this. I think from what I said, they plan to deliver in October, and they pushed it back to November now. But I'll happily pay $750 for one of these. And look out, because hopefully, maybe they'll even watch this video. I was told online that they're going to get a few samples to get thrown around. So maybe I can get one. And they said maybe if they only have one, they'll just fly into DFW and visit 4 or 5 of the different 3D print stores around here and show us the 3D printer. And I'm like, yeah, I'd be down for that. Like, definitely at least do that. But if you can give me one I was trying to get one for a few days to a week, because if I can get one for a few days to a week, I'll put it to work. You know, I'll make it do some industrial prints. I'll do some stress tests with it. I'll do a lot of videos on it. And, you know, we can really see how this Anker is put to the test in a production setting, because the only people who've got it now are people who just print, like, you know, cool and impressive things and clean things, but then, you know, from what I've seen, they're YouTubers. It's not their full-time job printing. You know, you're getting raw, not that great YouTube content from somebody who doesn't do YouTube all the time. I do a business, and this is what you know I do to you know, give back to the community. So, and I've got to make some changes, because I got to do better than what I'm doing. But anyways, this is cool. Be on the lookout for it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think this is cool, if you think it'll be a bust. You know, I mean, they've got look at this guy chilling in his, yeah, football. Oh, the printer, it's done. Yay. This is cracking me up. Oh, look at the little scientist build a beautiful, intricate little car. That's cool. I mean, see, that, like, somebody is a power boss, like, who made this. Like, all these camera angles, these views, it's a father-son moment. Like, this played on national television, that's tremendous. This destroys anything I've ever seen China come out with, as far as advertising goes. I mean, good job, Anker. Like that's really impressive. anyways, I'll get off this now. Thanks for listening to my long rant. I don't know how to keep these videos short. One day I'll figure it out, or get an editor. But yeah, keep an eye out on this. It'll be fun. Have a good day, guys.